Gladstone. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, artist, and you're watching The Music Enthusiast.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Music Enthusiast, and I'm here with MIA GLADSTONE. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm obsessed with your music. Yeah, like the visuals are just insane too. We'll get into that after. But first off, would you like to start us off with some positive affirmations?
Oh, I'd love to. Whoa. I feel like they need to be off the top of my head, like for this moment. Today, we are here right now. We're exactly where we're meant to be, and life is unfolding how it's meant to. And I'm embracing the changes.
Perfect. I got into affirmations like I think a year ago or something, but I haven't I haven't taken a break, but I just haven't done it in such a long time, and I feel like just like seeing that you're doing it too, like I feel like I need to get so into it now.
Yes, they're so powerful. I've started saying them like I usually write them, so it's not as natural for me to like just start saying them without writing it first.
Yeah.
But I do it so naturally now because I write in my notebook all the time, and I just find myself like writing very affirming things, and I'm like, whoa, it really transforms your mind. Like it just keeps it going.
When did you start manifesting and affirmations and all that?
Well, I've been manifesting like my whole life, but I never really had a word for it. And then, I mean, really just in the last couple of years, it became something that I was conscious of. Growing up, I knew I'd pursue music. So
Mhm.
I would always like write songs about being successful. It was like every song I wrote was like, I'm going to make it. And then I like realized later on that I was manifesting my reality because I was just like, I already believed that I was successful and that I was worthy of it. So I was just like elevating my frequency to that. And then when I became more aware of manifestation, it got like way more powerful. So I started doing it with a lot more intention. Like, what
Yeah.
exactly do I want to achieve? And I would just like write it down all the time and like do everything I could.
I love it. So what is your most fondest musical memory? Because you have been writing music since like you were in elementary school or something.
It's so hard to say. I don't really think of things in terms of like a hierarchy
Mhm.
of like my favorite, but man, I have so many. Like, I remember being a little kid, my dad got me this MP3 player. I had to have been like maybe 5 or 6, and he just like loaded it with maybe 200 songs of like all different genres. And I remember like really gravitating towards Steely Dan and
Mhm.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with the Stevie Wonder song "Maybe Your Baby." So I like remember the feeling I got from that. And then Doctor Wu by Steely Dan. I just like remember always having these feelings of like, wow, music is so powerful. Sometimes I felt like I was the only person in the world who felt that way because like I feel like my family wasn't that outwardly expressive about it, but obviously like they all love music and it was always infused in my life. But I had this feeling of like, wow, this is my whole world. And I
Yeah.
love accessing that feeling now. Like I feel like it's always there.
Yeah, for sure. That sort of reminds me of like B. Miller. I think she mentioned like her parents made her like a mixtape, but it had like every genre, and then there would be like occasional like ABCs and like little kid songs. So just a mix of everything. It sort of reminded me of that.
It's great. It really helps you like find what you identify with. Also, I've known B since like middle school. We're from the same town.
That's so crazy.
She's one of my best friends in like 8th grade.
Well, did you know that about her, or am I just telling you now?
You're just telling me. Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool.
I love that.
So you're releasing your new project, Loopy. How are you feeling, first off?
Oh my god, it's insane. Last night I was like, I was thinking about it. I was like with my friends, and I was like, wait, guys, like we have 1 week. So I was with William, who's like been making all my visuals with me. I was just like, this is insane. Like tremendous amounts of work into this, and it's all coming out in 1 week. Like I don't know how I'm gonna feel when it drops because it's such a weird thing. Like all this energy, and then suddenly it's like I'm not the one clicking the button, being like it's out. I'm just seeing on Spotify and all the other platforms, like okay, it's out. Now what?
Yeah,
There's like
exactly.
this weird feeling afterwards. So I don't know. Just trying to like take it day by day and keep the excitement going, but not have like very specific expectations for what will happen.
So what was the hardest song to create off this record, whether it was like emotionally or just you couldn't figure out what to do with one part and it just stuck with you forever?
Yes. Okay. Well, I would say probably the next song I'm dropping it a couple days before the project, and it's called Open Letter, and it's with
Okay.
TC Touchdown. And that song like took so many forms. I think it's the longest song in the project too. Basically, like it started with this hook part, and I had like verses over the same beat from the hook for like probably I don't even know how long, like maybe even a year of the song existing. And I was like, I had like sent it to a couple people. No one really wanted to hop on it, and I was like, "What's going on here? Like, what do I need to do? I need to elevate it." So then I kept just like making new project files in Logic and having them set to like the same BPM and in the same key, but just completely different sounds. And basically I like mashed it all together. I probably worked on that song for over 2 years.
Wow.
like not every day, but like I would come back to it and I'd be like, I gotta add something here and there. And I like played around with so many plugins and just experimented. And then the way I made the song was like so disorganized. I had like this one master project file with like all these different bounced out parts. And then when I was trying to like bounce the stems to send to my engineer, it was a nightmare. That itself probably took me, I was like calculating at one point, it definitely took me like 15 plus hours to just bounce the stems.
Wow.
Crazy.
It was worth it though. It was worth it.
Thank you. I think it was too. I'm like, honestly, it's still surreal to me that I ever got out of that song. Like, I never thought I'd finish it.
Oh my God. So what was that feeling after? Were you just like relieved? Like what were you
Yes, I was
feeling?
so relieved. I was ecstatic. Having finished that song was like, okay, I can definitely finish the project.
Mhm.
Like, I had this feeling throughout it where I was like, if I can pull this off, I'm gonna pull off the project. So it was a symbol for me.
Yeah, and this project consists it has so many collabs. There's Tiza Touchdown, like you mentioned, Belis, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Trent the Hooligan and Martians?
Not Martians.
Martians. Pronunciations aren't my thing. I can already
Oh, it's
tell.
cool. Yeah.
So how did you meet all of these collabs?
Yeah. So, I mean, most of the people I met on the internet, vast majority of them, when I think about all the features, which is crazy because so many of the songs are like about kind of the negatives of the internet and the
Yeah.
negatives of social media. But there are, like, of course, many positives, which is community and connecting with people. Like, how I met Matt Martians was really amazing because he's in the band The Internet, and I've been a fan of theirs for a very long time. But back in the days of Vine, I would make little vines of me just filming my hands, playing keys, and doing like little renditions of different people's songs. And I found that it was really great if I would make it and then I would go on Twitter and I would tweet the artist and they would like very often interact with it and then I would like build community through that.
Yeah.
So I did that with an internet song, and Matt had their Twitter account. So like back when I was 15, he showed love on that. And then I sent this like really embarrassing DM to them where I was like a young businesswoman. I couldn't really read social cues, and I was like, "Hey, so I see you showing me love. Like, I was like, I would really love to do some vocals for you guys. Like, and I was like, I really feel like we could benefit each other." And they're like a huge band, and I'm like literally a 15-year-old like in Spanish class messaging them, and then they like I think they probably unfollowed me after that, and then we didn't interact with them for many years. And then like I had this random tweet maybe 2 years ago, maybe three. I was like, I don't care about what people think of me on the internet. Like I was like reacting to people trolling me online, and then Matt was like on the internet's Twitter and he was just looking up the internet trying to find tweets about the band to
Yeah.
retweet, I guess. And he saw mine and he quote tweeted it and he was like, "Yo, I love your music." And I was like, and then we became really good friends and like we don't live that far away from each other. So like I'll go to his house sometimes, make music and like just talk about life and it's really sweet. Like that's like a beautiful story of the internet, I guess.
And I love how like the way the world works. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was really happy about that. We shouldn't have access to the internet when we're so young, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my God, no. I've done the weird pitches thing like I would just like when I started off like my music blog, I would literally just like copy and paste the same message to like everyone I knew, just like, oh, I started this thing, follow me, like.
Me too, yo, but we really did that, and like look at us now.
Exactly.
So
And
funny.
when you feel like you've been on social media for too long or you just had enough of it for the day, like what do you do to not be on social media?
Okay, so there's a couple things. Like for me, it's really how I start the day that affects it. So
Mhm.
I have a policy where I won't check social media. I mean, what I try to do is like before noon every day, I won't check it.
Mhm.
But sometimes I end up checking it.
Yeah.
But I try not. I definitely don't do it when I wake up. Like when I wake up, I don't look at my phone for an hour. And
Mhm.
I just like I don't know. I get myself ready for the day, set intentions, and I always say I'm going to be intentional with where I put my energy. And then if I like find myself like deep in the throes of social media, I'm like, am I being intentional? And then I kind of just like exit the room. I heard this on a podcast like a couple years ago. They were talking about like addiction. With most addictions, like let's say alcohol, you avoid alcohol at all costs. Like you don't, if you're an alcoholic, you don't keep alcohol in the house. But with social media and phones, you're always around your phone. So how can you expect yourself to stop using it if it's always there? Like you're gonna use it. So I
Exactly.
try to like lock it away. Like I'll go put it in a room that I don't want to go in. Like I don't like my basement. It's like really it creeps me out. It's a bit haunted.
I
So
feel the same.
I'll be like, let me just put my phone down there. I'm not gonna go get it. I just try to stay away from it basically. I'll turn it off. I don't know. I don't sleep with it anymore in my room. I just separate myself as much as I can, basically.
Yeah. And social media being like one of the main topics of this project, were you having trouble like explaining how you were feeling about social media or did you not at all have a problem with it?
I was very comfortable talking about it in the songs just because my music is always a place where I can be honest.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's always like a very reflective process. I was reflecting on it and I was like, social media is constantly on my mind. So it's very natural that I'm gonna write about it because it's just like this thing that's glooming over me. I don't know. It felt very nice to talk about it and be like really forward with myself because I always write about it in my notebook. I'm like, what are the things that I need to change? I'm like, I need to stop being so addicted to social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a struggle.
There's so many layers, like there's so many loops and beats. I will literally just like I will start to like listen to a song and I'll just be like, oh my God, there's this. And then there's this, like with headphones, especially.
Oh.
Crazy. What do you usually start off your songs with?
So I typically start with the beat and then I do lyrics. But I often like will then add to the beat as I'm adding vocals. It's really like it's a whole back and forth process. I very rarely write lyrics before I have a beat. But sometimes I'll write random stuff and then I'll like take little sections of what I've written in my notebook and then put it into the song. But yeah, I feel like it's pretty beat driven. I feel like sometimes I try to overcompensate, or I do overcompensate as like a producer, because I won't feel super confident in my ability to do like a bare bone production thing. I'm like, I don't know if these elements are strong enough on their own, so I'm just gonna keep layering them, and then it becomes like this whole pool of sounds.
Yeah. And do you ever have trouble just like to stop when you've layered enough?
Yeah, I do. Like not having anybody there to be like, this is done, sometimes affects me. But I also like that freedom. I love collaborating with people so much, but there's so much power in just doing it myself and having that full control. Like I decide when it's done.
I love it. And your music videos are so sick too. They're one of like the craziest music videos I've ever seen. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Remy Wolf, and I sort of got the same vibe, maybe. So, was Remy Wolf sort of in your mind when like trying to figure out what your music videos would look like?
Honestly, not at all, but she is really dope. I'm not familiar with her music videos. I saw one with Dominic Fike that I thought was
Yeah.
really sick. It was like I think it was more of a live performance, but maybe it
Mhm.
was a music video too. But I love her general aesthetic. I think she's very sick. But yeah, for in terms of inspiration for the videos, like it's really just a mending of the worlds of like my world and Williams, who's been my creative partner in
Yeah.
Loopy. I've always loved his aesthetic. He's always making really weird, vibrant like just very strange stuff that I feel like you find in the depths of your imagination. I've always been drawn to stuff like that. So we just, I don't know, we kind of feed off of each other.
And if you would be able to live in a music video, which music video would you choose and why?
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't know. I've never thought about that. All my music videos have this kind of sinister like element to them.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd want to live in any of them. Although the vibrant colors make me feel like I'd have fun. I mean, the concept for this project is really kind of like I'm trapped in a music video, like
Yeah.
I'm trapped in the world. So in real life, I wouldn't want to be trapped.
No,
But
not at all.
I'm trying to think of other people's videos. Like I think of like Tyler. He's a huge inspiration to me. Tyler, the creator.
Yeah.
I'd love to live in like his world. It's just so colorful and looks so like retro yet new. I'm trying to think of music videos that have water in them because I love swimming.
Maybe like See You Again sort of has that clip where like they're on the boat.
Hmm.
So if you're thinking of Tyler, maybe that one.
Yeah, maybe I just go live on that boat.
Amazing. And my very last question for you is who are your favorite artists right now?
Oh my god. Okay, I have just so many. I get really fixated on things on like a weekly basis, I feel like. So currently I'm really into Salami Rose Joe Lewis.
Oh my god, I saw her open for Still Woozy.
Oh no way.
Yeah, I got her vinyl and the t-shirt too.
She is so dope.
Mhm.
I'm in awe of her. Like the way she plays keys is so inspiring to me. Just like I need to learn how to play all of your songs so I can become better. So I love her. I love Flanoffy.
Mhm.
He's really sick. He makes such weird shit. 454 I've been listening to a lot lately. Maya Blaney is like so out of this world. There's so many. It's really hard. Once I start naming one, I'm like, I'll just keep going.
Well, it was so great talking to you. I'm obsessed with this project and I cannot wait for it to be released, like seriously.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. Wow.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much. This was really nice.